Hey everybody, I have a story today. One of my Facebook friends was talking about ghosts. I have some of my own, and I'll share one, maybe two, today. My father-in-law passed away. I think it was New Year's Eve day of '05, and my husband, Doug, got his dad's wedding band. And his dad was super small. He was a little teeny guy. Doug's a big dude, so he could only wear the ring on his pinky, and it stayed there for years. He got it, like I say, right after his dad passed away. And then sometime in 2010, we had bought a house, and it was a pretty big house. We had a lot of our kids' friends coming over and stuff. He came into the room one day, into the front room, and he shows me his hand. No ring. He didn't even say anything. I just knew. No ring. Where's the ring? He said, I don't know. It would not come off his finger, ever. We tried everything. It wouldn't come off. So for it to be gone, it kind of was weird. I thought maybe it broke in half. That's what he was thinking. So we were looking everywhere to at least find one half of it. We were looking behind each other. Nothing. And I go in the bedroom about half an hour after we started to all look, and I was just going to tell him, if it turns up, it turns up. We'll be real careful. I had a bunch of clothes on the bed. I had been doing clothes all day. Some were folded, some were just piled, but the whole bed was covered in our room. And he's standing on the other side of the bed when I walked in the room, and he points down. And there's a big open space cleared out where there's no clothes. And the ring is laying right in the middle. And I went, how? He just shook his head and shrugged his shoulders with a smile, like he didn't know. And all my kids' friends came in the room, and they were like, no, we all looked here. And I was like, that's creepy. So yeah, the ring just kind of showed up in a blank spot on the bed that wasn't there before. So that's that story. Okay, this story goes back to around 97. We had just moved into this house in 96, and I had my kids close together. They were like 2 years 5 months apart, and then 2 years 9 months apart, so they were all pretty small. I've always struggled with depression. Recently, not so much, but my whole life up until I started making changes, I dealt with a lot of depression, and I really didn't know it. That was just all I knew. That was the life that I knew. And I was depressed. I had these little kids so close together. Doug had a job that kept him out of town for months at a time sometimes. And I was lonely, and I was sad, and I was depressed, and I was going through a lot of chemical imbalances and everything. And I was not on any medicine because I really didn't know that I needed any medicine. I was 26 years old, and I was laid in the bed one night. Doug was out of town. The kids were all three in their room, and I was laying in the bed one night, and I was just crying. And there, you know, as depression goes, there's really no reason for it. You just cry, and you hurt. And I was laying in the bed, and nothing could soothe me. Nothing could calm me. I didn't have anybody. You know, my parents had moved out of the state. I didn't really talk to my siblings so much, and I really didn't share with them because it just doesn't work in my family. And I was sad. I didn't have anybody. And I'm laying in the bed. There's like a little crease, a crack opening in the curtain in the window, and the street light shining in barely. Curled up on my side, and all of a sudden, it's real quiet in there. Real quiet, dead quiet. Didn't even have a fan on. I felt the corner of the foot of the bed go down. It just like someone had sat there. I mean, the whole feeling I got was someone had just sat down. So gently. And it wasn't anyone big. Of course, my first thing was the kids were out of the bed, so I just gently looked up, and when I realized there was no one there, that I couldn't see any silhouette or anything, kind of snapped me out of my crying, and I was just shocked. And I could clearly see the corner of the bed just slightly down, and I heard it. I heard the creak, a gentle creak. It was so subtle. And I can't say that it was my grandmother. I'm not even going to insinuate that, but I got this rush of a grandmotherly feeling, like comfort. I calmed down instantly. It was crazy. I knew that. I didn't know if it was someone who lived there before we moved in, or if it was my grandmother. I don't know. I was never close to my grandmother either. I was never close to anybody in my family except my dad. But the calm was unbelievable. And it was like she was there to comfort me. Almost like she had been lingering around the house probably since we'd moved in, seen my struggle, and just comforted me. And I did calm down, and I laid my head back down. I totally did not even care that this whatever was on the end of the bed. And I felt when the bed raised back up. She, and I say she because this was definitely the comfort, the whole overwhelming feeling of a comforting elderly woman. She was gone, and I literally uttered the words out loud, "Thank you." And I went right to sleep. I never thought, worry about that incident at all. The rest of the night, I just went to sleep. The next day, not that she was still with me, but the incident, that occurrence, comforted me, made me realize someone was there, and the next day wasn't as hard. So there's that story.